I want you to watch this clip that was from Fox News on Wednesday of last week, which is 2 days before Comey issued that letter to Congress regarding continuing to look into the Clinton email server. Rudy Giuliani is not acting like he's talking about some kind of a speech that they're getting ready to give or some kind of ad that they're getting ready to do. You just look at the maniacal laugh that he gives and the comments that he makes regarding something big is coming.
I think he's got a surprise or two that you're going to hear about in the next few days. I mean, I'm talking about some pretty big surprise.
Oh, yeah, I heard you say that this morning. What do you mean?
You'll see. We got a couple of things up our sleeve that should turn this around.
Back to Harvard, that was former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, one of Donald Trump's top surrogates, teasing something big coming. 2 days later, FBI Director James Comey announced to Congress that the Bureau of the FBI was investigating newly discovered emails. Well, was the timing of Giuliani's big tease coincidental? He was asked about that earlier today.
A couple of days before this all broke, you were on with Martha McCallum, and you looked at Martha and you go, well, look out, something's coming down, and certainly it did. What did you know? And a lot of other networks are pointing that out as if you were part of that.
I'm not part of it at all. Well, all I heard were former FBI agents telling me that there's a revolution going on inside the FBI, and it's now at a boiling point.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's a bunch of bullshit. A revolution within the FBI coming to a boiling point is not something that would affect the Clinton campaign. And he spoke specifically that something big was coming down that was going to affect the race. So that right there is a lie. And with all the firestorm coming out about leaks from the FBI and the Trump campaign getting inside information, this guy had to circle the wagons and figure out a response that would not implicate the Trump campaign. He's a lying sack of shit.
And so you had a general idea that something was coming.
I had expected this for the last, honestly, to tell you the truth, I thought it was going to be about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did nothing to get it out. I had no role in it. Did I hear about it? You're darn right I heard about it. And I can't even repeat the language that I heard from the former FBI.
Well, listen.
This afternoon on MSNBC, Congresswoman Maxine Waters of California said Giuliani should be investigated for this. Let's watch that.
The leaks that have gone out, the division that appears to be in the FBI is unprecedented. Nobody expected that you would have false information coming out from the FBI. And Giuliani needs to be investigated also because he has a role in this.
Well, two other members of Congress, Elijah Cummings and John Conyers of Detroit, also called for an investigation into leaks by the FBI. Well, late today, Mayor Giuliani said he never received any information about the ongoing FBI investigation from employees, live employees, current ones in the FBI. Joining right now is Mayor Giuliani. This is, Mayor, thank you so much for coming on. I'm trying to figure out the timeline here. According to James Comey, the FBI director, he didn't get this information about these emails in Anthony Weiner's laptop until Thursday. You were talking on Wednesday, the day before, about this thing coming. How did you get a 24-hour no? You had a 24-hour jump on Comey, according to what you were saying. How did that happen?
I'm a prophet. I was not talking about these things coming. What I was talking about, Chris, was the advertising we're doing this weekend. We have been debating.
You were teasing with that anchor woman that you had an advertising plan. You sounded like you had something really good ready to come.
Chris.
He is a lying ass, and Chris is looks like he's attempting to call him on it, because you don't make that kind of a statement about some advertising that's coming or a speech that somebody's getting ready to give. That is total bullshit.
You want to hear my answer? What we were talking about was, I've been working on a speech and I've been working on a presentation where he was going to buy a lot of time at the very end to lay out his message. We had about 4 different ways we were going to do it, and that's what I was talking about. I had no idea that Jim Comey was going to do what he was going to do the day that he did it, nor did I ever think he was going to do it. What I did know about, which is quite true for about 4 months, is that the FBI was very, very upset about the way Jim Comey had handled the case. But I heard that from former FBI agents not from current FBI agents. I haven't spoken to a current FBI agent, I don't think, in the last 9 months.
So
that is total bullshit. Giuliani has gone on record as far as having a close relationship with the New York division of the FBI. And it's the New York division that all of these leaks are coming out of. So it would be quasi-realistic to believe that somebody that was working on the investigation into Weiner came across something and basically told one of their buddies that no longer worked at the FBI with the express mission of getting that information to the Trump campaign. And that's how Rudy Giuliani more than likely found out about it. So he could get up on a stand, put his hand on the Bible and swear that no current employee of the FBI told him anything, all right? But a former employee of the FBI that's still friendly with people that are currently working on the case could have been told that information and then passed it on to him. And I believe that's exactly what happened here.
Then you're innocent of knowing any inside information on the possible prosecution of the site. No. You have no inside information as of this moment from the FBI.
Correct.
So you don't know anything more about the case than what you were thinking about as a private citizen right now. You don't have any inside information as to possible guilt of Hillary Clinton.
Everything I know comes
what you say about Hillary being guilty is just a former prosecutor yourself talking about it. You have no advantage over it. Yeah, but you have no advantage. Okay, here's the question. Hillary Clinton, when she became Secretary of State, this is public information, chose to have a private server. I don't know anything about this stuff, but she chose to have her own. Obviously, she wanted to keep it private. By your argument, I believe that was a felony.
I would say the fact that she...
Doing that at that time, in other words, she committed a felony the moment she became Secretary of State.
Not the moment that she did it, but when it became apparent that these things were all on private servers, she wasn't using the State Department server.
But she chose to do that the first day.
Let me finish, Chris. She was exposing this information to hacking. She was exposing this information to anyone who could take it from her. I would be shocked if the Chinese, the Iranians, the Russians, and I don't know, some little jerky kid didn't hack something.
See, but that's the bullshit. See, now he's dancing around the question. The specific question was, the day that she became aware that she was going to be Secretary of State and she was using a private server, okay, for her to continue to do so was a felony. That was the question. Giuliani's not even willing to answer the question.
Information.
They can hack the State Department.
Yeah, but the State Department,
but you're saying that was a felony to make that choice.
And then, when you make the choice between what's public and what's private, it's a State Department employee making the choice, not your lackeys, not your people.
You're the lawyer, man. I'm going to ask you one more time because I don't get this. If it's a felony to have a private server, and she made that decision the day she was, basically when she realized she was going to accept the appointment as Secretary of State, what was her motive? What was her criminal intent then? You're suggesting a crime here, and I can't figure out when it occurred.
The crime is very, very simple. I think the 33,000 emails that she destroyed shows the connection between the Clinton Foundation and Hillary Clinton. She knew.
He doesn't know that the 33,000 emails that were destroyed had anything to do with the State Department. So that's idle conjecture, and they just throw it out there like it's nothing.
From the begining, they were going to sell out the State Department.
What inside information do you have on that?
I'm telling you my inference from everything I read. Clinton Cash, the New York...
Clinton Cash is basically no more than a hit piece that the people from Breitbart have put out there. The story was written by a person that deeply involved in Breitbart. The book was financed by Robert Mercer, who is the money man in Breitbart, and the movie Clinton Cash was also financed by Robert Mercer of Breitbart. So the first words out of his mouth were Clinton Cash. That had to be totally disregarded, because all it is a hit piece, and that particular hit piece was debunked multiple times.
Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal. I'm telling you,
the law. Okay, you also know the law. You know what I know, Mayor. You know just what I know. The law says
there is a prima
the State
facie
Department
case.
officials get to decide what is private, and then you back to the government what is not.
Laid out a prima facie case that I could take to a grand jury. The fact that here's what I didn't know until recently, that the Justice Department blocked a grand jury of this investigation. That is corruption and outrageous.
Okay. You trust the honor of Jim Comey?
If that were you or me, that case would go before a grand jury. And the Justice Department is corrupt. Obama's Justice Department corrupted this investigation.
See, Chris is doing a piss poor job of cutting him off because all he's doing is basically filibustering Republican Party talking points.
The fact that they have Podesta's lawyer involved in this investigation, the guy that Podesta said kept him out of jail, is an outrage.
But this kind of charges, Mayor,
what the Justice Department stands for.
These charges have become what we do in this country now. It sounds like a third world country. All of a sudden, Newt Gingrich used to say the Democratic leadership in Congress was corrupt. This word corrupt is thrown around all the time now. Everybody's corrupt on the other side. You're just doing that.
The Justice Department corrupted this investigation.
How did they? Because she recused herself.
When the FBI went to them and asked them for a grand jury in February on the Clinton Foundation, they should have given them a grand jury, and we would have this thing cleaned up by now. The reason we're going through this right now is because Hillary Clinton and her lackeys in the Justice Department, people who work for her, people who defended Podesta, someone Podesta said kept him out of jail, is involved in this investigation. Give me a break. That would have never have happened in a Justice Department that I know.
Okay, let me ask you about your common sense. You are a former prosecutor. You have a certain instinct for how to handle these cases. It's your judgment, okay. You're also a partisan politician, like everybody else on this show. I understand that.
Right.
Look at Chris Christie. His two top people, one works right across the room from him, like 100 feet from him. She's running this scheme. She's just getting convicted of several felonies. She's going to spend a lot of time in serious prison, along with Peroni. They were carrying out a political scheme to punish somebody, a mayor of Fort Lee, who wouldn't go along with the plan to endorse the governor for re-election. Okay. Do you honestly believe that Chris Christie didn't know that was going on 100 feet from him?
As far as I know,
strategy, they say he knew under oath.
As far as I know, Chris Christie is not under FBI investigation.
He just spun because he asked him a direct question whether he believed that Chris Christie knew, and he's going to spin away from that by saying that, well, Chris Christie's not under investigation, therefore I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to spin and go after the Clintons again.
Hillary Clinton is under FBI investigation because there are 650.
That's a lie. She's not no longer under FBI investigation. Okay, there's an inquiry into the emails that are on Huma Abedin's husband's laptop. So the Clintons are not under investigation. And they're also not under the Clinton Foundation also is not under investigation. That particular lie was debunked, but Donald Trump is still running with it, and so apparently is Mr. Giuliani.
1,000 emails on the private server.
Mayor, you're out freebooting. You're out freebooting, saying who would have go to jail.
What you are is you're changing the subject.
I'm asking you. I'm just asking you.
What's the difference whether Chris Christie knew or didn't know if Hillary Clinton was exposing top secret information to our enemies? It doesn't make it right that she was doing that because you may think that Chris Christie did something wrong. And she shouldn't be president of the United States.
Do you think Chris Christie did something wrong?
Reckless in the handling of top secret information. What you're doing is pivoting from the issue of the person who's running for president.
I'm trying to find equal treatment here.
Chris Christie's not running for president. And he's not under investigation by the FBI.
He did. The reason he's not running is because of what just happened at the bridge.
He did run and he lost.
Okay, I know.
He ran and he lost.
And you give
he's not under FBI investigation. Hillary Clinton is.
Chris Christie is not under FBI investigation yet. Okay? The New Jersey legislature is reconvening their Bridgegate panel to take another look at Chris Christie, given the fact that his two highest underlings just got convicted in the Bridgegate scandal, and they both sworn under oath that he knew. So Chris Christie may very shortly be under FBI investigation.
And we haven't even talked about the Clinton Foundation,
great. I just want
which
to ask
is a
you one question.
multi-million-dollar fraud and racketeering case.
That is such total bullshit, and he knows it. The Clinton Foundation takes money in. Wherever they get it from, fine, that's where they get it from. The Clinton Foundation itself has no political power. All they do are acts of helping people, like the people in Africa that they've gotten AIDS medications to. Their financial statements are 100% squeaky clean. They have been looked at numerous times. 90% of the money that comes into the Clinton Foundation goes out to aid various people around the world, including some in this country. 10% of the money, which is the remainder, goes to administration. No one from the Clinton family receives a dime. The board of directors of the Clinton Foundation are unpaid positions. Therefore, they are clean.
Willing to give Chris Christie a clean bill of health?
I am willing to say that Chris is my friend. I trust him.
Okay.
He tells me he didn't know. I believe it. If you prove to me he did know, I have to change my mind. If you tell me that two people who were on trial trying...
Okay, did you see how wide his eyes got? Let me see if I can. There you go. See how wide his eyes got? He's lying his ass off, and he's getting upset, okay? Chris Christie knew. His two main road dogs orchestrated this thing, and they did not take those actions without informing their boss. And they have sworn under oath that they told him. So did David, I believe the guy's last name is Weinstein. He was the principal witness for the prosecution. Weinstein swore that he told Chris Christie the day that it was going down. So Christie knew.
Who were on trial trying to get off, said what they had to say. I've been through a lot of trials. I don't know how much weight I give that. On the other hand, if you want me to explain how the heck Bill Clinton got a $1.5 million speaking fee, and Hillary went and got a break for UBS and got them off the hook for 50,000 identities, and then Bill got a $1.5 million speaking fee, having come from New York like you came from Philadelphia. I know what that is. That's a bribe.
Okay, let me just tell you this. You're doing a lot of this because of intuition and partisanship, and it's not from inside information. Because you can't have it both ways. You can't say you haven't talked to the FBI, but you know what the FBI ought to be doing.
I have talked to former FBI agents, no current FBI agent. I wouldn't put a current FBI agent in that position.
So basically, you're speaking from hearsay, from third-party hearsay. That's what you're trying to say. That is not allowed in court, okay, unless that third-party hearsay can be documented. And obviously, you haven't documented it, so you needed to keep your mouth shut.
Unless I was their attorney, and I'm not.
Okay, but not anybody's ever worked on this case, right?
I have not talked to anyone that's worked on this case.
Okay, thanks. That's why I know. So in other words, you were as unaware of this case as anybody else who's read the newspapers.
When Jim
read the newspapers.
said this, totally shocked.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Giuliani, thanks. Always welcome. I'm trying right now to watch.
Yeah, okay. Rudy Giuliani is a lying ass sack of shit. He had inside information. How he got it, I indicated at the beginning of this video. But he had inside information, and he slipped up and spilled the beans 2 days before Comey issued that letter regarding continuing to look into the Clinton email service situation. This guy's a prick.